Hey, my name's Az, my pronouns are he, him, and I want to talk a little bit about my experiences with testosterone gel versus testosterone injections because I've had a lot of questions about it and I thought it'd be useful for some people. I started T 2.5 years ago and I started taking testosterone shots when I began. I was injecting in my upper thighs once every 3 to 4 weeks, depending on my dose. So I started off at every 4 weeks and then moved up to every 3 weeks. So I was doing the intramuscular injections, and I had a bit of a difficult time with it personally. I found it not only really scary, but also I got quite a lot of pain in my legs for a good few days after most of my injections. And I don't think that's necessarily typically normal, but my body was just super sensitive to it. Other than that, I found the shots, relatively okay. I noticed lots of changes. I was on them for 2 years, so the majority of my changes that happened through having testosterone shots. And they were really good, they got me through. And more recently, I moved over to testosterone gel, which comes in a bottle, and you just I apply 2 pumps, it depends on your dose. I apply 2 pumps every day to your upper shoulders here and just the upper back. And I alternate shoulders each time. I don't know if you need to do that. And yeah, it's obviously the same substance, like it's still testosterone, but I think I have noticed some differences actually since having gel rather than being on shots. Firstly, it's not nearly as difficult for me. I used to get really nervous and worked up and worried about my shots, and I'd often even delay them and put them off because I really was just so scared about injecting myself. And that carried on for 2 years. And every time I really wanted to do it, and I was really keen to kind of master it, and it just didn't really get much easier. So being on gel for me works a lot better because it means that I don't have that, and it's a really easy thing to fit into my daily routine, just putting on some gel after I have a shower in the morning. And so that part of it is really easy. It can be a little bit, I guess, frustrating having to do it every day. But again, when you build it into a routine like I have, it kind of just feels like you're putting on moisturizer or you're putting on something else, it's a really easy thing to do every day, and it doesn't become kind of like a chore or a scary thing. So that's one thing. But also I kind of feel like I was starting to find that a few weeks after my injections that my emotions were kind of becoming a little bit unstable, and it was quite a difficult final week, I think, before my injections. And I think I was kind of noticing that my body was lacking that testosterone that it had before, and as a result I was kind of struggling with my emotions. And having the T gel every day has really made a difference, because I'm putting into my body a smaller amount but daily, and that's kind of more realistic of what a natural body would be producing. And as a result, I feel like I'm not having those same hormonal shifts. I'm not having the same imbalances, because I'm regularly updating that. So it's kind of for me, that feels like a much better process than what I was doing, and having it every 3 or 4 weeks, and then feeling like a peak and a trough sort of motion, which wasn't the best for my mental health. Another thing which is actually surprisingly helped is my libido, and that was something that I've never been too comfortable talking about, so I won't go into much detail. But my libido has definitely increased since being on T-gel and having that regular, stable kind of hormone. I think, again, I was experiencing a similar kind of a peak and a trough motion when I was on T-shots rather. But being on the gel is keeping that all quite stable and keeping me at kind of the same level, which for me is ideal, and I am finding it really brilliant. I think I'm noticing that I just feel better in myself, and I have more energy, and fitness is a lot easier than it was. I'm not hurting after working out barely anymore. I used to hurt all the time. So things like that, I think my body is just kind of responding, feels like it's responding in the right way. So that's my experience. You know, both options are great, and I'm really grateful to have been able to try both. For the time being, I'll be staying on T-Gel, and I'm excited to see how it develops.